this video, I'm going to show you how to crochet a case that can fold into a love letter. You can use this to store your stationery or crafting supplies, and the best part is that you can make it any size you want and customize the design to your liking. You can add a granny square pocket, a mini pouch, and a pocket with divisions that can store pencils, pens, or crochet hooks. Hi, I'm Maham and I crochet cute things. Since this project can be customized to any size, you can use any size yarn and hook, but I would recommend using a medium weight yarn with a 4, 4.5, or 5mm hook. You're also going to need a sewing needle. This can be plastic or metal, it doesn't matter as long as your yarn can fit through the hole. I'm also going to be showing you how to sew the running stitch, so don't worry if you've never sewed before. The yarn that I used is on my Amazon storefront, and the written pattern for your reference is on my blog. And sorry, there are kids playing outside, so there might be some background noise. As I was saying, the yarn that I used is on my Amazon storefront, and the written pattern for your reference is on my blog, and the links for both of these are in the description of this video. My goal in this video is to show you how I designed my dream case by explaining the techniques that I use so that you can create your own dream case and customize the design to your liking. Recently, I've been brushing up on my crochet skills with this learning path on Skillshare. I've learned how to create straighter rows for smoother edges, which is so important when you want to add neatness to your work, and how to create form-fitting garments with gauge swatching. And I've incorporated this technique in this form-fitting top that I made. You can find this learning path and lots of other creative classes on Skillshare. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives with thousands of classes led by industry pros across photography, illustration, design, crafting, music, and more. This year, invest in yourself and pick up new hobbies that you always wanted to try by learning new skills on Skillshare. If you're not sure where to start, Skillshare designed learning paths to help you get from novice to pro in no time. Learning paths are handpicked classes that build on one another, reinforcing lessons with a learn by doing approach. They're available in a range of experience levels from beginner to advanced and a variety of categories. This is one of my favorite learning paths and I highly recommend giving it a try. It's perfect for learning how to sew from scratch and creating your own garments along the way. Whether it's for yourself or for your plushie, like I designed this cute little t-shirt for my teddy bear. The best part is that the first 500 people to use my link will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare to get started today. Thank you Skillshare for sponsoring this video, and if you're looking for more class recommendations, I've posted a bunch of my favorites on the YouTube community page. We're going to start by making a long piece, and this piece, when you fold it in half, should be the size that you want for the case. And then once we're done making this long piece, we're going to make a little triangle flap at the top. And then when you fold it up, it's basically going to look like a love letter, something like this. So the customization is completely up to you, but this is the basic shape that we're going to be going for. So to start off our work, grab the yarn and hook that you want to use, and we're going to make a slip knot. That's how I like to make mine. Now you're going to chain the width that you want for the pencil case. So this right over here, this measurement, you're going to chain any number of chains that you want to get the width of your pencil case and start your work. I am going to put the exact measurements and chains and number of stitches that I'm doing in the written pattern as well as on screen. So if you're using a 4.5mm hook with like a medium weight yarn, then you can get the same size as me. I'm using this piece just as a demonstration, so for my actual hook case, it's going to be a little bit longer, so I'm going to put the exact chains that I did on screen. But just for the demonstration, I'm going to show you with a smaller piece. Once you're done making the width that you want, this measurement right over here, you're going to start your first row. So we're going to skip the first chain, and we're going to half double crochet into the second chain from your hook. So yarn over and insert your hook into the second chain. Pull up a loop, and then you're going to have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through those 3 loops. Now go ahead and do 1 half double crochet into every chain to make the first row. Now to make the next row, you're going to chain 1, and then you're going to turn your work to the other side, and you're going to insert your hook through the stitches. So yarn over, insert your hook through the stitch like that, and half double crochet. Now go ahead and half double crochet into every stitch to make the second row, and that's how you're going to start and make every new row. So yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, pull up a loop, and yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Make sure that you have the same number of stitches in every row. So for example, if you had 17 chains, then you're going to have 16 stitches in each row, because remember you skipped one, and then you have to make sure that you have 16 stitches in every row if that's the number that you're going for. But overall, you just have to make sure that you have the same number of stitches in every row. Otherwise, your work is going to get smaller or bigger, or smaller or bigger, and the sides won't be straight. Every time you want to start a new row, here's what you're going to do. So just repeat these steps from now on. You're just going to chain one and turn your work. Now you're going to skip the chain. Remember, don't put anything in that chain, and half double crochet into the first stitch right over there. So insert your hook and half double crochet. Now just go ahead and half double crochet into every stitch, making sure that you're only doing one half double crochet in every stitch all the way down, and that's how you're going to make rows and more rows again and again. So you started off with a chain that was the width that you wanted for the pencil case, and now you're doing rows, and you're going to keep doing rows until your pencil case is as big as you want it to be. So now go ahead and finish the length or size that you want for the pencil case. So from here all the way till here. Don't think about the triangle flap right now. Just focus on this long rectangular piece over here. But this is my finished piece. This is what my pencil case is going to look like. And when I fold it in half, this is the size that I'm going to have. So if you want to make it the same size as mine, you're going to make a slip knot and chain 30. And then you're going to do 32 rows of half double crochet. Now, before we make the triangle flap and complete the love letter shape of this pencil case, we are going to start designing the inside. For this step, I would recommend getting your sketchbook or a notebook or a piece of paper and just making a shape like this. This shape right over here is what we have, this long rectangle, and this is the triangle flap, so just ignore that for now. Now you have to design what you want inside your pencil case or inside this long rectangle, and remember, we're going to be folding it in half, so you have to divide it on one side and the other side. For my pencil case, I wanted a heart granny square on one side. So this is the heart granny square that I made. You can replace this granny square with literally any other granny square. I have a star granny square tutorial, a heart granny square tutorial, a plain granny square tutorial, and a bow granny square tutorial. So you can pick from those and just make a granny square that fits the size of your pencil case. When I was done with the heart granny square, I just left a long tail for sewing, and I'm going to get a plastic needle. Again, you can use any needle as long as it fits the yarn that you're working with. And you're going to tie a knot to secure. I'm just going to show you some basic sewing if you're struggling. Remember to use the same color as your pencil case because we need the side to be clean. So we don't want any different color yarns to pop out here because the outside will be the love letter design. So just make sure that you're sewing with the same color as the pencil case so that the sewing part is invisible. Now place your granny square where you want it to be. I'm going to leave a little bit of a border on this side and a little bit of a border at the bottom as well, but you don't have to. You can line it up completely to the edges of your pencil case. And now we're just going to sew all the way around. So I'm going to insert my needle through both the pieces like that and pull. Then I'm going to go back up. This is called the running stitch. I'm going to go back up and insert my needle through the next stitch and pull. Now I'm going to insert my needle through the next stitch and the pencil case and pull. So we're basically just doing this all the way up. So you go through from the bottom, then you come up, and then you insert from the top and go through the bottom. And this is your running stitch that you're going to use to sew this granny square onto the pencil case. Just repeat this all the way around. I'm done sewing this side together. Remember to leave the top open because that's where you're going to slide things. And now I've just attached another piece of yarn. I'm going to continue sewing on this side so that I can attach the other side together. And you're basically repeating the same steps. If your needle is coming from down, you're just going to go up. And then if your needle is up, you're just going to go down. And you're just going to do the running stitch to join the piece together. To end my work, I just insert my needle through the stitch on the pencil case and I'm going to tie a knot. So when I have a little bit of a loop left, I'm just going to insert my yarn through it and then tighten it, making a knot to secure it in place. Now for the rest of the yarn, I'm just going to weave it in so that it doesn't show. So I'm just going to insert my needle, just go through these, just like how you normally would weave in the ends for a project. And then I cut the extra yarn and there you go. That's how to sew on a granny square onto your pencil case. So we're done with the granny square. Next I'm going to show you how to make a little pouch. Now, once again, you can make the pouch any size that you want. So to make panels of different sizes that you can use to make a pouch or a different pocket in your pencil case, all you have to do is repeat the same steps that you did for the body of the pencil case. So for example, to make this small piece, all you have to do is make a slip knot and then chain 16, then insert 1 half double crochet into every chain, and then continue making rows of half double crochet until you have the size that you want. So do the same exact steps that you did to make the body of the pencil case, just with different number of chains, different number of stitches, different number of rows, and that way you can make pieces of different sizes and turn them into pockets or pouches. First step of making the pouch is to make the body of the pouch. I don't know the exact terms to refer to these pieces as, so please bear with me, but basically let's call this the body of the pouch. So now I'm going to be sewing the sides of the body onto the pencil case, but remember that you have to leave the top open, so don't sew this part, but sew all around over here and stop here. The exact same steps as the granny square. Just insert your needle through the piece that you want to join and the pencil case. And there you go. Now you've attached a little pocket to your pencil case. For this, we're going to make a flap that has curved edges, and I'm also going to show you how to make a button with yarn. So just in case you don't have a button or you don't want to go out and buy one and you just want to make something out of yarn, I'm going to show you how to do that as well. To make the flap, you can start by chaining the same number of chains that you did for the body and make it the exact same size. So I have 16 half double crochets in every row for the body, and I did the same thing for the flap. Then go ahead and do as many rows as you need to until the flap can sort of cover the top part of your pouch. And then in the very last row, before you're ready to end your work, we're going to make the curved edge and we're going to leave a little hole for the button. So to do that, don't chain one to start a new row. Instead, just turn your work, skip the first stitch and half double crochet into the second stitch. This is going to make your curved edge on one side. Look, it's already pulling it inwards. Now go ahead and half double crochet into every stitch until you reach the middle of your work, and then we're going to leave a hole for the button. Now to leave a hole for the button, you're just going to chain one, skip the next stitch, and half double crochet into the stitch after that. So skipping a stitch and chaining one is what will create a hole for our button. Now go ahead and half double crochet into every stitch until you have 2 stitches left at the end of this row. Now to make the curved edge on the other side, make sure that you have 2 stitches left, skip one of the stitches, and then just half double crochet into the next stitch. Make sure that you half double crochet tightly so that you don't have a hole left over at the edge. And now we're just going to end our work. So to end our work, I'm just going to chain 1. I'm going to leave a bit of a long tail for some sewing, cut, pull, and tighten. That's how to fasten off your work. This step is optional, so if you don't want to do it, just go ahead and sew the flap onto the body. But if you want to make a border like mine, we're going to go ahead and make a slip knot with whatever color you want to use. Now insert your hook into the edge of your flap, pull up a loop, and then slide that same loop through the slip knot that you have on your hook. Now we're just going to slip stitch all the way across the edge. So insert your hook as close to the edge as you can, pull up a loop, and slip stitch. Make sure that you don't slip stitch too tightly, otherwise this is going to affect the shape of your work. So just loosely slip stitch all the way around. And then when you reach the border where you can clearly see your stitches, insert your hook into the stitch and slip stitch. Go ahead and do this all the way around the flap. When you reach the hole and you've got your chain, just insert your hook into the chain like normal and slip stitch, and your hole will still be there so it won't get covered. Do this all the way around until you reach the other side. And to end your work, just chain 1 and get your scissor. I'm going to leave a bit of a long tail so I can sew this and hide it in later. When you're sewing the flap onto the pencil case, don't leave too much of a gap. So don't sew it up here, sew it right there. So insert your needle through the pencil case and pull to connect it. So when you open it, you can put things inside your pouch and then you can just close it. And that's what it'll look like. So you can open it, you can put whatever you want inside and close it again. Now I'm going to show you how to make a crochet button in case you don't have a real one. So to do this, we're going to start off by making a magic ring. So hold your yarn like this with the tail facing you and wrap your yarn around your fingers, making sort of like an X shape. Then use your ring finger to hold it in place. Insert your hook under, grab onto this loop, twist it up, and then use your ring finger to hold this piece of yarn so you can chain one like that. Let go and you've got your magic ring in the middle. Now we're going to go ahead and insert 3 to 4 single crochets inside the magic ring. So that's your first single crochet, insert your hook, pull up a loop, then yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. That's your second. Let's do one more. So depending on how big you want your button to be, you can do more or less single crochets. I'm going to tighten the magic ring just so I can see what it looks like. Now I'm going to insert my hook through that chain one that we did at the beginning. This is going to be really tricky to do. And I'm going to slip stitch. Oops. And there you've got a little button. And now I'm just going to chain one so I can end my work. And I'm going to leave a long tail so I can use the same tail for some sewing. Pull and tighten. Now you've got your button. It also kind of looks like a rose, so this could be like a rose button. I've also got a bit of green yarn and I kind of want to turn the button into a rose, so I'm going to make a little leaf to go along with it. I'm just going to make a slip knot and then chain 3. 2 or 3 would be fine since I want the leaf to be a little bit small. And then I'm just going to slip stitch into the second chain. So skip the first one, insert your hook into the second chain and slip stitch. It's going to be tight. And I'm just going to single crochet into that last chain. And there I have sort of like a leaf shape. Then I'm just going to chain 1, leave a tail for some sewing, cut and pull to tighten. Now you've got your leaf and your rose. So I'm just going to sew the leaf onto the flower like that. And then I'm going to sew both of these things onto the body over there. Make sure that when you're sewing, you don't go through the pencil case, otherwise you won't be able to open your pouch. So sew it here. And there you go, that's what your finished work should look like. I just sewed it on. And then you can take your rose and you can slide it through the little hole that you made. And that's how you can close your little pouch. The next piece I wanted to make would be a piece that has stitches down the middle that kind of divide the piece so that I can slide my hooks through it. To do that, I repeated the same thing as I did for the other pieces. This is the piece that I made. This is 16 half double crochets in every row, and there's a total of 12 rows. Now I'm just going to turn it sideways and I'm going to sew it on like this. But before I sew it on, I wanted to add like a little green bow detail over here with some yarn. There's a bunch of different ways. I'm going to be using my hook for this. I'm going to insert my hook through the corner and I'm just going to pick up the yarn and pull it through like that. And I'm just going to take a long tail because I don't know how much I'll need, and I'll just cut the rest of it. I'm going to repeat this on the other side as well. So insert my hook from the top and just pull up the yarn. Don't know how much I'll need, so I'll just take that much and cut the rest. So now you're going to have 2 pieces of yarn on both sides. Now we need to attach it to the back so that it doesn't come undone. To do this, I'm just going to insert my hook through any of the stitches at the back and slide that through. And now I'm just going to make a knot. So I'm going to insert it through again, pull it up, but do you see that little loop that's formed with our hook over there? I'm going to insert this through and tighten, so that's going to make a knot. I probably should have kept more yarn, but I had too little. Okay, so now this piece is attached to that side. Now let's repeat the same thing on the other side as well. And there you go. Now you've got the backs attached with a knot. Now we're just going to weave these ends through, and then when they come out through the center, we're just going to tie it into a bow. So I'm going to insert my hook from the bottom, and I'm going to pull the yarn through like that. And I'm going to repeat on the other side as well. I'm going to try to make them equal. Now I have to bring the yarn from back to front, so I'm going to insert my hook from the front. I'm going to try to find the center of the stitch. Pull it up, and now I have to take my yarn from front to back, so I'm going to insert my hook from the back. Now I have to bring it up again, so I'm going to insert my hook and pull it up. And this is what it's going to look like when you bring it all the way. So on both sides there's these like stitches, and now we're just going to tie it into a bow. So I'm going to start by making a knot. Then I'm going to make a little loop, tie it around my fingers and pull it through like that. Now you can adjust the bow. Now go ahead and sew these sides to the pencil case. So leave the top open, just sew the sides together. Now to make the divisions in your piece, what you're going to do is sew down the middle. So you're basically going to connect this line in your piece to the pencil case, but not the top part, so that you can still slide things through. So for example, every 3 rows, I'm going to sew down the middle by connecting the piece to the pencil case. So 1, 2, 3, then I'm going to sew down this line, and then my hook can basically just slide through like that. Right now I'm joining this together. I've already joined this part, so now I need to join the rest of it. So I just come up through the pencil case. I'm going through the pencil case and this. I bring my needle up, and same way that we were doing before with a running stitch, I'm going to bring it down. And then I'm going to bring it up again from the back. And take it down again, and you're just going to do this all the way down until you reach the end. And once you're done sewing, you can basically just slide your hook through, and there's a division here, and it's pretty tight, so that means that whatever you put won't fall off from your pencil case. Go ahead and repeat the sewing by skipping whatever number of rows you want to skip, and then you'll be all done. Now for the next piece, I wanted a little very thin piece that could just hold my stitch markers. So for that I did 16 half double crochets again, and I did 2 rows of that. Now I wanted to add some ribbons into my work because I love adding ribbons. So all I'm doing is just threading the ribbon through the holes in the stitches, and I'm using my hook to do this. So I inserted my ribbon, brought it up, and then bring it back down. Now I'm going to insert my hook from the top, pull the ribbon out. Then I'm just going to pull this a little bit. Now since my ribbon is facing upwards, I have to insert my hook from the bottom and pull the ribbon down. Then I'm just going to adjust this like that, and I'm going to repeat. So now my ribbon is facing downwards, so I'm going to insert my hook from the top and pull it up. Now it's facing upwards, so I'm going to insert my hook from down and pull it down, and just repeat this until I've done this all the way to the end. Once you're done, you can sew it onto your pencil case like that. Just sew this side and this side. I'm going to start by making the envelope flap so that we can close it up. So to do this, I did 4 extra rows after my last panel. It's important to have these extra rows so that when you fold your work in half, these rows can fold over your work like this. And then after these rows, we're going to make the triangle flap. The triangle flap is made up of rows of half double crochet. The only difference is that on the edges, so on both sides, over here and over here, we're going to do decreases by half double crocheting 2 stitches together. And what this is going to do is it's going to make a curve, giving us that triangle shape that we want. Here are the steps that you're going to repeat for these rows. You're not going to chain 1, you're just going to turn your work to the other side. And then you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the first stitch, pull up a loop, and then yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through all the loops that are on your hook to half double crochet these stitches together. Now you're going to half double crochet into every stitch until you have 2 stitches left at the end of this row. When you reach the end of the row and you have 2 stitches left again, we're going to half double crochet them together. So insert your hook into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, and insert your hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through all the loops on your hook like that. Now we're going to repeat the same things that we did previously. So to start a new row, you're not going to chain 1, you're just going to turn your work. Now you're going to half double crochet the first and second stitch together. So yarn over and insert your hook into the first stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through all the loops on your hook. Now go ahead and do 1 half double crochet in every stitch until you reach the end of the row and you have 2 stitches left. Once again, when you reach the end of your work and you have 2 stitches left, you're just going to half double crochet these 2 stitches together. And those are the steps you're going to repeat to make the triangle flap. So as you can see, I've only done 2 rows, but the sides are already going inwards, making that triangle shape. Now you're just going to go ahead and repeat this. Now I'm doing my last row because I decided that I don't want it to be completely pointy, so I'm just going to stop here while it's kind of rounded, but still giving sort of like an envelope shape. So I'm going to make a little hole for the heart to go through, and to do this, I'm going to chain 2 loosely, and then I'm going to skip these 2 stitches over here and then half double crochet into the 3rd stitch. So the stitches that we skipped are going to make a hole for the heart to come through, and then I'm just going to complete the row like normal. Then I have 2 stitches left at the end of the row, so I'm going to half double crochet these 2 stitches together. This is just what it looks like when you fold it up. That's what mine looks like, and you can stop whenever you want to, so you don't have to do the same number of rows as me. When you're ready to end your work, you can just chain 1 or 2, cut your yarn, make sure you leave enough so you can weave it in and hide the end later, and tighten. I'm going to show you how to make a heart. You can also replace this with a butterfly or a flower or basically any other charm that you want. To make the heart, we're going to start by making a magic ring. So hold the yarn facing you like this and wrap it around your fingers, making sort of like an X shape, and use your ring finger to hold it in place. Insert your hook under, grab onto this yarn and twist it up. Then using your ring finger for support, insert your hook under and pull up a loop to chain 1, let go, and there's your magic ring. Now chain 1 more so that we have 2 chains. Now we're going to insert 3 triple crochets inside this magic ring. To triple crochet, yarn over twice and insert your hook into the circle, pull up a loop, then yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the other 2 loops, and yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops. That's your triple crochet. Do this 2 more times so that we have a total of 3 triple crochets inside the magic ring. After this, we're going to do 3 double crochets, so yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. I'm going to make the magic ring a little bit smaller. Go ahead and do 2 more double crochets so that we have a total of 3 double crochets. Now we've done one side of the heart, and now we have to do the point, so we're going to chain 1. Now we're going to do 1 triple crochet, so yarn over twice. Then we're going to do 1 more chain, and now we're going to repeat what we did on this side on the other side. So we're going to do 3 double crochets. That's 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to do 3 triple crochets, so yarn over twice and insert 3 triple crochets inside your magic ring. If you want to make a smaller heart, there are a bunch of tutorials on YouTube that you can follow so you can adjust the size of the heart as well. You can also replace the triple crochets with double crochets and the double crochets with half double crochets, which will automatically make your heart smaller by following the same pattern. Now let's pull your magic ring in tighter. And to end your heart, chain 2. Slip stitch into the magic ring, so insert your hook, pull up a loop, and then slide that same loop through like that. And I'm just going to chain 1 to secure it. And I'm going to cut my yarn, leaving a long tail for sewing. Pull, but before I tighten that, I'm going to tighten my magic ring first. So make it super tight to close up that hole. Now I'm going to tighten this backwards. So I'm going to hold my heart like this. I'm going to pull. And this is going to give the heart that pointy shape in the middle. And there you have your cute little heart. Now you're going to take your heart and you're going to sew it over here on the pencil case. So first make sure that your flap aligns with where you're sewing the heart on. So I'm going to sew my heart right over here so that when I close my flap, the flap can go under the heart and I can pull the heart out and it's going to sit right over here like that. Another important thing to keep in mind when you're sewing is that only sew like one piece of the heart onto the pencil case, because if you sew all around it, it'll be hard for the flap to go through. So I'm going to show you what I did, but basically, so all I did was only attach one piece of the heart to the back of my pencil case. So there's literally only one stitch holding it in place, and this allows the heart to just be able to move through the hole right over there. So when I want to put the heart in, I just fold it and I just slide it through the hole and it closes it up. Now I'm going to show you how to make a neat little border all around your work. So look at your piece. We're going to start from over here. We're going to single crochet all the way here, and then all the way here, all the way there, all the way down until we reach back to where we started. So this is just going to make a neat little border around our work to cover these sort of unneat edges. We're going to start by attaching our yarn into the corner. So just insert your hook, pull up a loop, and I'm just going to tie a knot to secure this in place. Let's double knot it to make it even more secure. Insert your hook through that stitch again and pull up a loop, chain one so you can start your work. Insert your hook back into that same place and pull up a loop, and then you're going to have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops, making a single crochet. Now go ahead and insert your hook through the edges, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and single crochet all the way around. In some of the edges, you're already going to have stitches, so you can already see these stitches that you can go through and you can single crochet them. But on the other edges, you might not have these stitches to go through, and you'll just have to go as close to the edge as possible. I'm going to show you in a second. But just go ahead and single crochet all the way across. So over here, I'm working along the edge, and as you can see, there are no clear stitches for me to insert my hook through. So I'm just inserting my hook as close to the edge as I can possibly get, wherever I find space. So once again, there's no specific place where you have to insert your hook, just as close to the edge as you can get. And if you feel like there are big holes showing up, so for example, if I inserted my hook here, there'd be a big hole like that. So I'm not going to do that, and instead I'm going to insert my hook here instead. And that's basically just how you're going to single crochet all around your piece. I'm almost to the triangle flap, so that means I'm going to single crochet all the way around over here as well. When I reach these chains, I'm going to single crochet into the chains as well and go all the way back down. Once you're done, you can just chain 1 and get your scissor and cut. Pull, tighten, and then you can weave the end in to hide it, and you're all done with your cute little pencil case. When you open it up, you've got the different compartments that you can decorate as you like. And when you want to close your pencil case, you just slide the heart through the hole.